Another Wednesday, another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. Hope everybody had a great weekend of football. As you can tell from the background, I did not. Anyways, if this is your first time here, you're a casual listener, whatever it may be, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a subscribe, make sure to rate us 5 stars because we got a jam-packed episode today. A lot of great things to go over. I am super pumped, but you guys know what we got to get into first. That's Pregame Talk with my main man, Jaden. What do you got for us today?
So today's pregame talk is going to be rapid fire, like would you rather. Like 2 players in their prime, and I want you to pick which one you'd rather have.
So rapid fire, do you want me to kind of just be like
and
boom, boom, boom?
So my original thought for this is just answer, quick, boom, 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 and at the end, we could kind of go back, and I guess you can give an explanation.
Okay.
For why you picked this player over the other.
Okay. And how many do you got of these?
I got 1, 2, 3. I got 6.
6.
Yeah,
6.
6.
7. Okay, 6. All right. Whenever you're ready, let's hear the first one.
All right. First one is prime CMC or prime Derrick Henry?
Give me prime Derrick Henry.
Prime Julio or prime AB?
You know I'm an AB guy. I got to go AB.
Hey, go fuck yourself. All right. Prime Aaron Rodgers or prime Peyton Manning?
Fuck, bro. Do I let bias get a side of me? Give me A-Rod.
Prime Richard Sherman or prime Jalen Ramsey?
Shit. Give me Sherm.
Prime Khalil Mack or prime Myles Garrett?
Oh, man, that's tough. That's really tough. Oh, I got to rapid fire this. Prime Khalil Mack.
And then we got prime Fred Warner or prime Bobby Wagner.
Oh, man. I thought you were going to go the other 49er linebacker, and I would have picked him immediately.
I was, but I want to make it a little...
Man, all right.
A little closer.
Immediate reaction. This might be somewhat of a hot take, but I'm going to go Fred. And I guess I'll stay on this one just for a second since it's the last one, and then maybe we'll go back and talk about the other ones. Fred is probably, and I'm more so leaning to like for sure, the best coverage linebacker that I've ever personally watched. And as I mentioned when Jaden was comparing these, I thought he was going to pull the Patrick Willis card, and I would have went Patrick Willis. Patrick Willis is the best linebacker. It's him and Luke Kuechly, in my opinion, as the 2 best that I've ever personally watched with my own 2 eyes. Those guys are unreal. And even just watching videos of film breakdowns and everything talking about these guys, I mean, those guys were animals. But when it comes to Fred versus Bobby, I think they both do things very well, but I think Fred just does more things at an elite level. I mean, he's elite against the run, elite in coverage, elite at turning the ball over.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one. I think he's way better at forcing turnovers than Bobby was.
I mean, he's just someone that knows where the football is at all times and is taking it away. So I think that could be a hot take, but maybe not so much. I think they're really close. But if you're talking about prime, like if I'm building a team and which linebacker do I want on my team, give me Fred Warner. I mean, Fred Warner is high on that list over any linebacker in history just because of his versatility and how much he can do on a football field. I think some of the other ones that I want to touch on with, those would you rathers was the A-Rod versus Peyton. I think that one was really tough for me. But looking back at it, I think it is for sure A-Rod. Obviously, A-Rod's biggest knock is, once he gets that, how do I want to say this exactly? He's not the most prolific playoff performer. We know that. And you even see recently Lamar Jackson has been kind of getting this knack where it's like he wants to protect his stats and his passer rating so much, so he'll take unnecessary sacks and he doesn't want to take deep shots down the field or what it may be. And some of those things could be true for A-Rod. You see how amazing he is and his all-time seasons that he has in the regular season, and it, kind of dips down in the playoffs. And for a player of his caliber to only have one Super Bowl and only one Super Bowl appearance, if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild, especially when his counterpart in Brady was on the whole other side of the conference. It wasn't like he was having to go through Brady every year. He couldn't even get there to face him. So, but then again, Manning also had his woes, and Manning is also, I think Manning only has two, right? One with the Colts, one with the Broncos. So it's not like Manning has like five or something, and Rodgers only has one. So I think I feel good about the Rodgers one. The AB versus Julio one is one that people can go on for ages. I've always just been a big Antonio Brown guy. I think Julio is the most prototypical. Like, if you were to build a receiver in a lab, that's the guy you want. And for a lot of people, that's like easy. Like, yeah, give me that guy. But I think AB being undersized and having, in my opinion, the best footwork of any player in NFL history, when you combine route running with sideline awareness with after the catch ability, I think AB was that dude. There's talks that because of his off the field antics that there's a chance he won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer or a Hall of Famer at all, but I mean, the dude is flat out one of the best receivers ever. I mean, top 10 without a question, in my opinion. Both of those receivers are top 10 without a question. So that one's definitely really close. I mean, that's a true toss up. Obviously, Jaden's going Julio all day of the week there. But that was pretty good. Those were some tough ones, no lie. I liked that. That was a good starter to this episode. Now, before we get
not gonna touch on the Khalil Mack over Myles Garrett.
Okay, yeah. I kind of forgot about that.
You seem like you took a while on that one too.
That one definitely was tough, and this is my point to it. Myles Garrett is undoubtedly a top 5 pass rusher that I've ever seen in my life. I've seen a lot of great ones. J.J. Watt being the best. Aaron Donald's up there. Khalil Mack's up there. Myles Garrett, as I mentioned, T.J. Watt in his prime
Von Miller
is up there. Von Miller, 100% is up there. I've seen a ton of great ones. But I think what the differential is for that one specifically, when you talk about, like, we're just taking the peak version, the prime version of these players. As a Raider fan, I have watched multiple games where Khalil Mack has literally willed and won the Raiders a game, essentially by himself. I mean, you look at the 5-sack performance against the Broncos. You look at the performance against the Panthers where he had the game-sealing sack. He had a pick 6. I mean, this list can go on and on for games that he just took over and won by himself. And I'm not saying that Myles Garrett hasn't done similar things to that, but I just don't think it's to that level. And that's all it is. That's all it comes down to. I've just seen Khalil Mack take over games and literally will his team to a win more often than a player like Myles Garrett has. And that's a tough ask for anybody. I mean, there's not many players in NFL history who have ever done things like that. It's a very short list, but I do think Khalil Mack is up there on that list. So that's all it comes down. It could be some bias from me, but it's all love to Myles Garrett. So. But for me, it's Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I don't think Myles Garrett is coming on the show anymore.
Oh, that would be stellar. But Khalil Mack, 100% in the future. Trust me, we're talking it to existence over here. Anyway, as I mentioned, great pregame talk as always. Gonna be a little bit different this week. I'm not gonna get into my Devender of the week. We're going to hold that off because there's so much that happened from this past Sunday and even as a night of recording, which is Monday night, that I want to get into. And I want to start out with the Monday night games. And I'll start out with this one because this one is some unfortunate news for the NFL world. Mike Evans will miss a large portion, if not the entire season, with a broken collarbone. His 11 straight seasons of 1,000 yards has come to an end, which is unfortunate. unfortunate. I was excited to see if Mike Evans could keep that streak alive. I mean, at the end of the day, I think, no, did he tie Jerry Rice or does he have the record?
He tied Jerry Rice.
Tied, yeah. So it's like he
They
couldn't
kind of
break
word
it.
it weird to make it seem like it's better than Jerry, because they word it like most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons to start a career.
Right.
Like Jerry Rice's streak doesn't start from when he came in the league. It starts, I don't know, whenever he got his first 1,000-yard season.
Right.
But it's tied with Jerry Rice.
Okay.
The wording sometimes that they use make it seem like he's the first ever to, but it's tied.
Right. And yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, he was obviously going for the record, and Evans has dealt with some injuries over these past few years. Obviously, that being a factor of age, and it's something that nobody wanted to see. I think a lot of people were excited to see if he could break that record, and that's not most likely. That is essentially not going to happen. I mean, they're saying that there's a chance that he could come back over the final few games.
It's
but
fucking over, dude.
Yeah,
over.
Yeah. There's simply
to get, 400 yards in those 2 games.
Right. There's simply.
And
simply
if
no
he
way.
does, I don't think he does. It's because it's not even a collarbone. It's like what do they call it? A clavicle. Like it's a part of the collarbone that takes. I think it's like a 3-month, like at least.
Yeah.
Timeline, maybe 4 months. I can't remember.
Right. So, yeah, Mike Evans, unfortunately, still a Hall of Famer, still a great player in this league, but that record will still be tied with Jerry Rice and himself, and we'll see if some other players in the league have a chance at breaking that. I know Jefferson, Jamar Chase, I think CD Lamb, Amon-Ra are players that have a chance. I think Amon-Ra and CD both have 4, I want to say, consecutively right now. Jamar is 5, and I think Jefferson is 6. So we'll see if they have a chance at getting it. But yeah, unfortunate news in the NFL world. And staying on the Monday night games, I want to talk about this Texans-Seahawks game, and I want to talk about it from multiple aspects. So the Seahawks pull out the win 27-19, and I want to start on this from the Texans side first before I get into praising the Seattle Seahawks. And not necessarily just this game I want to talk about for both of these teams, but it's really the overall impact of it. And from the Texans' standpoint, it's so unfortunate to see the rookie year and the success that this team had in that season, and the fact that they went all out. They understood that they have a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract, and it's like, hey, let's go out here and get as much stars as we can around him, and let's go try to win this thing. I mean, as a rookie, to have one of the best rookie quarterback seasons ever and to win a playoff game at that, and you feel like you kind of, put your foot on the pedal and kept going, and you're building this team that has a chance to compete in the AFC, and it's just been really bad ever since then. I think they've done a lot of great things. I mean, you look at that defense, and my goodness, this Texans defense truly is stellar. I mean, it is without a doubt a top 3 unit in the league. I think it's the 2 teams we just watched play each other and the Broncos. I think those are the top 3 defenses in the league. And you saw that on display tonight with what the Texans did. Obviously, the Seahawks put up 27 points, but that really doesn't tell the whole story. This team was forcing turnovers, getting to the quarterback, defending the run really well. I mean, they played an all-around great game. And unfortunately, this Texans offense is one of the worst in the NFL. And obviously, it starts up front with that offensive line. But man, does it suck, because I'm such a big CJ Stroud fan. Coming out the draft, I wanted, obviously, it was unrealistic at the time. I mean, it was realistic for a certain point. CJ Stroud wasn't necessarily mocked as high as he obviously went at number 2, and even people were, mocking him to go 1. There was a chance where he was taken in that 5 to 10 range, but obviously after his junior season, people started to realize just how good of a player he was, so he went at number 2. So I've always been a big CJ Stroud fan, and I thought he was going to continue to be a superstar in this league, and I still think he is a really good quarterback. It's just a really tough situation in Houston right now. And with all the injuries they're dealing with offensively, and you combine that with the offensive line play, it's ugly over there. They really need Tank Dell to come back. They traded for Christian Kirk, hoping that he could be a solid player for them, and he's dealt with injuries this year, so they just really cannot catch a break. And on top of that, you're forcing CJ Stroud to throw the ball so many times a game because they have zero run game available, and he's forced to throw that many times behind the worst offensive line in the league. It's just a setup for failure, and it sucks to see. I'm hoping that they can somehow get this train back on tracks, but all we can do is wait and see. But let's move over to the Seahawks side of things. And I can talk all day about this defense and about how well this team is playing. But I want to talk about one player in specific, and that is the man out of Ohio State, Jackson Smith-Njigba. When Jackson Smith-Njigba was coming into the league, I thought he was a good player, but I did not see his ceiling being this good. I thought he was, he came in as a wide receiver 3 behind DK and Tyler Lockett. Then he quickly moved up to that number 2 behind only DK Metcalf and moving in front of Lockett. And now he's moved up to the number 1. And going into this season, I was like, yeah, I can see, JSN having a good season, being productive. I mean, he was a 100 catch, 1,000-yard receiver last year. I'm like, he can, definitely replicate that and probably add a little more on. But I didn't expect this. I mean, the current pace, obviously you can't look at projections like this because you're just, taking those stats and literally multiplying them by the amount of games. And that's just not realistic. That's not how it works all the time. But JSN is currently on pace for 120 catches, nearly 2,000 yards, 1,989 yards, and 11 touchdowns. He has had 3 consecutive games with over 120 yards, 3 consecutive games with 8 catches, and 3 consecutive games with a touchdown. He is playing some of the best football of any player in the league, disregarding position. And it's amazing to watch, especially when you consider, he is essentially the entire offense. This offense absolutely runs through him. The receiver help out there in Seattle is not really, that great. And I think Sam Darnold is playing really great football this year. I won't say like really great, but he's playing the position good. It's not as great as last year, obviously, behind an offensive mind in Kevin O'Connell, but he's still playing some good quarterback. But JSN is helping that out a ton. Sam Darnold threw for 213 yards today. JSN had 123 of them. And it's like that when you look at a lot of the games that they play. He'll have like 200 and something yards, and JSN's got 150 of them. Even the first game of the season, Darnold had, 150 yards, and I think JSN had like 125 of them. Unreal stuff, 124, excuse me, because I even have his game-by-game stats pulled up. 9 for 124, 8 for 103, 5 for 96 and a touchdown, 4 for 90, and then you enter that 3-game stretch that I just mentioned. 4 for 90 is his worst game of the year. That's some stellar stuff. This dude is on pace for one of the best receiving seasons ever. On pace for the record. He's on pace for the record right now. If he were to play, 17 games. And we'll see if that ends up happening. But, man, has it been a joy to watch. One of the best stories in football. JSN truly becoming a wide receiver 1 in this league. And not only that, one of the better receivers that we have in football right now. He's rapidly approaching top 5 conversations. Rapidly. So a big shout out to the Seahawks. Big shout out to JSN and his progression. And a great win on Monday night for that team. A team that's looking dangerous If they can get that offense, more spread out, I'd like to see them be aggressive. I guess a little bit of a spoiler alert. I don't personally have them. I don't know what type of trades Jaden has drawn up, but I don't personally have a trade involving them today.
Ooh, the Seahawks, you're saying?
Yeah.
I do.
But this is a team. There we go. He's got a trade. But this is a team I would like to see be aggressive at the trade deadline.
It's not them receiving a player, though.
Okay. I think I know where you're going, but we'll see when we get there. But this is the team I would like to see be aggressive at the deadline. Go out there and potentially trade for another receiver or whoever it may be. But, that defense is just too stellar to not try to go be aggressive and feel like at the end of the day, everybody has to feel like they have a chance to make some noise. If you make the playoffs, man, you got a chance. And when you have a defense this good, you have a chance against anybody. So go out there and maximize your potential. A lot of receivers that are in talks to be moved this deadline. Go out there and get one. That's my advice to the Seahawks. But anyway, the last game that I want to touch on, last little storyline of these past games from this past weekend and Monday, is the historic game that happened involving the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos. This game was absolutely crazy. We were texting about this in the group chat, like, yo, the Giants are balling, bro. I can't believe this. And then the fourth quarter came. And I'm glad that I watched this fourth quarter, not really thinking much of it. I think I started watching after the Broncos scored their first touchdown, I want to say. And I was just like, all right, I was tuning in. It was one of the later games, only games on. And I'm like, I think I was like mowing the lawn or something, had it on in the background, AirPod on. And my goodness, I'm glad that I did. Denver trailed 19-0 entering the fourth quarter. They went on to score 33 points in the fourth quarter. That's tied second most fourth quarter points in NFL history. Bo Nix is the first player in NFL history with 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And this is probably the most mind-blowing one. Teams are 2 and 3,677 when trailing by 18 plus with 6 minutes left since 1970. That number has now jumped up to 3 and 3,677. Just one of the craziest games. It's not crazy to say. One of the craziest games in NFL history. Not even just a recent memory or of this past weekend. This is some wild stuff. This is some record-breaking historic things that we just witnessed. And I went back. I wanted to make sure that I watched the entire second half because I wasn't able to catch that third quarter. And I wanted to really see, what was going on in this game to cause this. And it really is crazy just how much goes into a lead being blown. Like, so much has to go bad for the team with the lead and good for the team that's losing. The Broncos offense just simply could not do much against this Giants defense. And even when they were driving down the field and getting momentum, it's like the Broncos were dropping passes. The Giants were batting passes at the line. The Giants legitimately had I think 5 or 6 batted passes in that second half. They were just all over the field. And I'm talking about defensive line batted pass, not pass breakups in the secondary. Bo Nix just couldn't get the ball past the line of scrimmage. This Giants defense was playing some great football. And as I mentioned, I'm talking about this, everything having to go right. You go back and watch, this condensed replay, and that's exactly what it was. The Broncos' first score, or no, was it their first score? I can't remember if it was their first score or their second score. But it was in the fourth quarter, and it was the tipped pass that I want to say Troy Franklin caught. It was unreal. It was a great play by the DB to get his hands in there and break it up. That ball tipped up and landed in the most perfect spot that it had to be. It was like if a quarterback threw that pass, it's like, wow, that's elite ball placement. That's a great throw. But it came off a tip. It tipped 15, 20 yards in the other direction and just landed right in the breadbasket where 2 defenders were not able to make a play on it. I mean, just crazy, unreal. And then on the following drive, where it feels like the Broncos are gaining momentum, the Giants get the same thing that happens to them. The receiver, I think Wan'Dale Robinson, tips a pass. The tight end catches it, takes it like 20 or 30 something yards for a touchdown. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy how much goes into a lead being blown. And I got to give a lot of credit to the Broncos. You know, they've been resilient this season. Bo Nix, when trailing, has been really great. I should have took a screenshot of it. I should have had the stats on me, but I mean, it's unreal. I think he has like 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions when trailing this season. He's been playing some, I mean, obviously you don't want to be trailing that much, but when he has been, he's been playing some solid football. But man, well, I mean, what an outing. What an outing. And from the Giants' perspective,
mention, the missed PAT.
Yeah,
well.
right. That's what I literally was about to get into when I was saying that. It's so unfortunate because Graham Gano goes out this season when he was 10 for 10. I think he was 6 for 6 from field goals, 4 for 4 on point after attempts. And you bring in the replacement kicker who is Jude McCarthy, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just fact check that just to make sure I'm not mixing up any name. Jude McAdamy is his name. And yeah, he misses 2 extra points. And that was really, really the difference in this game. For as much as it went wrong for the Giants and went right for the Broncos, that is one of the bigger ones. And I think another one that's kind of understated, the Giants, as I mentioned, they were up 19-0 entering the fourth. And the Giants scored a touchdown and they went for 2 to make it 21-0. And they did not get that. And I'm so stuck in between if I agree with that or if I don't. Like, do you just kick the PAT and just say, hey, we're up 20-0? Do you really want to force that 2-point conversion and, you know, go up a full 3 touchdowns? I don't know. It's tough. I was watching that back and I'm like, man, I mean, if they kick that PAT, and obviously, I mean, he missed 2 of them, so who knows if he even makes that. But I feel a lot better if it's 20-0. Like 1 point changes this whole game with how it was going. I mean, the Broncos were able to win the game off of a field goal because of 1 point. So it's decisions like that play a factor in these comebacks, and it's such small things that you don't think add up, but they really do. I mean, they really do. 1 single point can change the outcome of an entire game. So
could have been like Brett Maher.
Yeah, I mean that was
in the
crazy.
playoffs. He missed like 5 extra points.
Yeah, I think it was
some shit,
dude. I
it was four.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, it's got to be the record. 4.
I mean, they won the game still, but still.
Yeah, I remember that. That was against. They like blew that was Tom Brady's final game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
they like blew them out, bro.
Yeah, it was 31-14.
That was some wild stuff, and you know, a blessing in disguise because they landed with Brandon Aubrey, who is, I mean, quickly approaching some uncomfortable conversations at the kicker position. But yeah, a wild weekend of football. Shout out to the Broncos. I guess you won't hear me saying that a lot, but a great comeback from them nonetheless. So those are the games that I wanted to cover, and we might as well get into the big portion of this episode and a part that I've been waiting to get into, and that is our NFL trade deadline. Me and Jaden, I personally brought 3 trades. Jaden said he brought 4 to the table. We're going to be going over, talking over, just, you know, mixing up the league, some players that we want to see moved. And I think this trade deadline really does have a chance to be very active. I think we could see a lot of players being moved. But at the same time, the NFL trade deadline is never really that active. I know a few years ago when we had that crazy one that like involved like CMC and players like that was exciting to see. I really think this trade deadline could be similar to that. We could see some big names moved, but you really never know. I'm hoping for it. I'd love to see the league shaked up, especially with these bad teams having some of these great talents. But yeah, we'll get straight into it. I personally have. I won't even get into that. I'll just start out with my first trade. We'll go back and forth. One trade, one trade, one trade, one trade. My first trade involves the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets.
So we got the same
And
trade.
let's see if we matched up here. So I'll start with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to be giving the New York Jets a 4th round pick. And in return, the Kansas City Chiefs will be receiving Breece Hall and a 6th round pick. Is that similar to what you had?
No, I had the Chiefs giving up more, I guess.
More? What did you
I
have?
had them giving up a 3rd and then like a late day 3, like a 6th or a 7th, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
For Breece
Hall, just straight up.
Yeah.
I can see that. The only reason I went a 4th and not a 3rd, and that's the case with all of my trade candidates, is they're all on the last year of their deals. So it's like I took that into account because obviously
taking that into account.
Right, and that's things that you'll miss because I think it's still valuable. You still, can give up some valuable picks for these players, but I'm like, you got to factor in the contracts and if they're even going to re-sign them. So that's why I wanted to add on like extra picks if I'm giving up. Like, for example, the Jets are also giving up a 6th round pick when giving up Breece Hall just to kind of entice the deal and allow the Chiefs, like, okay, we're giving up a 4th, but we're getting a 6th back and we're getting Breece Hall. Like, I think that's a fair trade, especially when you consider the Chiefs, are obviously in win now mode, and they're looking like, a top 3 team in football right now after a really shaky start. They are really starting to catch groove. So I think that's an easy move. And that's funny. This is such an obvious, trade partner that's been talked about around the league is Breece Hall to the Chiefs. I think Breece Hall should get moved. There's a real world where he doesn't. I want to say he's even came out himself and said that he's not a fan of being traded. But the Jets are an absolute dumpster fire, and they just have too much talent that needs to be moved. This team needs to. It's unfortunate because they've been in the same spot for a long time, but for the amount of talent that they've been able to acquire in the draft, it just hasn't really resulted to much, especially when you haven't been able to figure out that quarterback position. So, yeah, I think it's just time for Breece to move on. And if let's say this were to happen and the Chiefs do get Breece Hall, how much does that move the needle for them? Because, like, in your opinion, where would you say they're at as far as, like, if you were to pick the Super Bowl champion today, where are they at? And if they were to acquire a player like Breece Hall, where do they move to? Like, are they like number 1 or are they like number 4 and move up to number 3 or something?
Truthfully, their record doesn't show it because they started off so bad.
Right.
I think the Chiefs are probably like right now, they have they have the best offense in the league right now.
Yeah.
And their defense is playing solid. If they acquire Breece Hall, they might. I think I'd probably already lean them as the favorite to come out the AFC right now. It's the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. And especially with the Bills and the Ravens
getting
Rashee
Rice back too, exactly. And the Bills and the Ravens aren't going to be there. The Bills are looking a little fraudulent.
Yeah, you look at their 4 wins. It's like a combined 5 wins across those teams.
Yeah. They acquired Breece Hall. I think that helps their Super Bowl odds a lot. Yeah. A lot.
And he's like such a perfect match over there because of how good he is as a receiver too. You see what they were able to do with a player like
the
Jerick
shit that
McKinnon.
Andy Reid is gonna scheme for him.
Yeah,
good luck.
It's I really think that it would be tough, and especially if they were able to extend him. My goodness, man. But that's funny. I knew it was gonna happen, but we end up linking up on one. What's your next one?
What's a good thing? I got 4 now. Then
yeah, right, exactly.
Next one I got is the Lions are trading for a pass rusher.
Okay. Let's hear it.
That pass rusher is Jalen Phillips.
Oh
Miami
my
Dolphins.
goodness. We
No
are
way.
we are 2 for 2, but the teams are different. The teams are different. But I do also have a move for Jalen Phillips. I'm interested to see where you go with this. I want to hear your
How
your
much
package.
he gets traded for?
Yeah, I want to hear the package.
I think it was just one pick.
And what
It was
was
either
that?
I was looking into it. I was looking into his contract. I thought he got a contract. He's
This is
still on
final
his
year.
rookie deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought he got extended already. Like, I mean, I wasn't going into this. I wasn't thinking about contracts. But when you mentioned that,
Yeah.
I immediately thought I thought he got extended. But when I looked it up, yeah, he's also on his final year. So, I mean, probably more likely a 4th round pick. But I had 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yeah.
So either late day 2 or early day 3.
And that's really similar to what I had quite a bit of picks involved in mine. I had the Miami Dolphins trading Jalen Phillips, a 7th round pick, and a 5th round pick. This is going to be a little bit of a curveball, I think, but I like it. It's to the Carolina Panthers for a 3rd round pick and a 6th round pick. And the reason I landed on the Panthers are obviously on a 3-game winning streak right now. They're riding high. And they're starting to get confidence, in their coaching staff and their young quarterback. Obviously, Bryce Young went down with the injury. That's going to cause him to miss this next week game, and we'll see how much that factors into the season going forward. But I think this Panthers team, wants to stay competitive, and their pass rushing group is really bad. I think their leading pressure guy off the edge is rookie Nick Scorton, and he has 12. Jalen Phillips this year has 22. Even Jalen Phillips is not the player coming off the injury like he was, 2 years ago now, but he's still a solid pass rusher, and he'd be a huge upgrade over anything the Panthers got right now. And especially when you look at the type of football that Derek Brown is playing right now, I mean, he's playing some of the best football of any defensive lineman, period. So let's go out here and get him some help. You know what I mean? The Panthers can make some noise. I mean, they ended up with a 4th place schedule. They're playing some good football right now. If they're able to add to that pass rush and keep up this groove, who knows, man? Maybe the Panthers can sneak out an 8 to 9 win season and, have some momentum going forward. But back to your trade with Jalen Phillips to the Lions. I like that as well. And I think the big thing that we're seeing here with your teams, my teams, I think obviously I traded with the Chiefs. My next 2 teams are not necessarily the greatest teams as far as teams that are acquiring the assets in the trade. Did you necessarily try to look at contenders and try to make them better? Is that kind of how
I did for most of them except one.
Yeah, I feel it because that's kind of how I went into it. But then I'm like, I kind of want to go with teams
for
that
the last
leads.
one though. I mean, I guess that for the Chiefs and Lions. But for the last one, I kind of just I don't know. I wanted to be a little different.
Yeah,
pick this team
yeah.
to get this player because I know this player has been talked to a lot too about getting moved. So I kind of wanted to add him into it.
Right.
He was the fourth one. I was like, I gotta mention him. And then I didn't want to do an obvious team.
Yeah.
And so I went with a kind of out of left field because I looked up and they're not really in talks for trading, or they were, but I think that I don't know, the asking price they weren't really feeling, but we'll see.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just to stay on the Dolphins for a second. I would be stoked to see that team just do a complete fire sale. I mean, Jalen Phillips, Devon A-Chain, Jalen Waddle, just get everybody out of there. Sell the team. I mean, that place is an absolute dumpster fire. But Jalen Phillips, I'm kind of expecting to be moved at this deadline. We'll have to see which team he does end up on. We'll see if it's the Lions or Panthers. I think those are 2 top 5-ish destinations. So we'll have to see where that goes. But I'll go ahead and move on to my last and final trade. And this is going to involve, I don't think we're going to be on the same page here at all, so don't worry. This is going to involve the Las Vegas Raiders and the New York Giants. You think you can? Yep, it is Jacoby Myers and a 6th-round pick to the Giants for a 5th-round pick. Nothing too crazy. Jacoby Myers on the last year of his deal. Jacoby Myers was requested to be traded in the offseason. The Raiders declined it and wanted to keep him because the Raiders felt like, they could make some noise this year. And with Jacoby being our best receiver, we wanted to keep him along there with Geno. And it's just, that bad things. It's unfortunate that I got to have, these Raider signs behind me, but it is what it is, man. And I think the time is coming. I think he wants to be on another team. It's very likely that he just sticks it out and just flat out signs with another team. But if the Raiders are able to move off him and, slide up around, Jacoby in a 6th for a 5th-round pick, I think that's pretty solid. And the Giants, essentially taking a flyer. Jackson Dart is playing some good football. You want to get that, young quarterback, some weapons out there, especially with Malik Neighbors going down. And I think Jacoby Myers is a really solid and underrated receiver in this league. And I think he could help out that team a lot and help out the development of Jackson Dart going forward. And who knows, maybe you really like him over there in that organization and he comes back on a solid deal. But, I think it's just a nice flyer on a team that wants to win at the end of the day. Brian Daboll, that whole coaching staff, that whole front office is essentially fighting for their job right now, and they got to put wins on the board. And they've had some really ugly losses, as we touched on, a little bit ago in this episode. So I think taking a flyer on a good receiver doesn't hurt at all, and you're not giving up much. You're giving up a 5th, and you're falling back to the 6th round. So in my personal opinion, I like that, especially as a Raider fan. What do you got for us next? Your next trade.
You went with the Raiders. I'll go with the Falcons then. The Falcons are going to be trading for Tariq Woolen.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And we're going to be sending day 3 pick, 5th-rounder, 6th-rounder maybe.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah. I think I know Woolen really hasn't been too great this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe he could just need a change of scenery or, change of scheme too. It would be a real big, scheme change because Falcons, we run a pretty simple defense as far as like coverage wise. I know like pass rush, we do a lot of weird blitzes and stuff, but we run cover 3 the most in the NFL, 50%. And then we run a lot of man coverage. We're pretty simple defense, like I said. Like for the DBs, 50% man coverage, about 25% of the time. 50% cover 3, about 25% of the time running man, and then a little bit of cover 4 here. But I think, maybe a change of scenery could,
could
be good for Woolen.
Back to his rookie days.
Yeah, he's amazing as a rookie.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, they run pretty just everything.
Yeah,
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Right.
Defense. Maybe that's a little too much for him. I don't know, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Aside from AJ Terrell, Mike Hughes has been pretty bad this year. He had a solid year last year, but this year's been horrible. D. Alford shouldn't be seeing the field. He's only seeing the field because Billy Bowman's been out the last 2 weeks. But
right.
I think I like taking a swing on Woolen.
Yeah, it's a flyer.
Opposite side of AJ Terrell for low draft capital.
And we'll get back to your trade real quick. I want to touch on this real quick because I forgot to mention in my trade with the Giants, it wasn't just a pick. It was Jacoby Myers and a 6th, and the Giants gave up a 5th-round pick, and I forgot to mention they also give up Evan Neal. The Raiders,
of course, you had to get. I knew you had to get a player.
The Raiders take up a flyer, and that's funny because also on your Tariq Woolen thing, I was thinking of moving Jacoby Myers to the Seahawks because obviously I mentioned that I think the Seahawks really need another weapon outside of Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I think Jacoby could be that player for them. And I was thinking of doing just a flat out 1-for-1 Jacoby for Tariq, and I was even thinking of doing the same thing with the Giants. Of but I probably would have threw in a pick. I probably would have did like Jacoby and a 7th for Kayvon Thibodeau because he is a heavy trade candidate at this deadline. I can really see him being moved. And that was another trade that I was considering. But yeah, I forgot to mention in mine. It's Jacoby and a 6th for Evan Neal and a 5th. So it's a flyer. You know what I mean? We'll see. Obviously,
Evan fucking Neal.
He hasn't been good like at all. Not even really close in his NFL career. But the Raiders are such a bad team, and we need offensive line.
Borderline NFL player, honestly, bro.
It's bad, but you know,
it's like the exact worries people had with him coming out of college. I mean, he was an amazing prospect.
Yeah.
But it's like the worries that they had, it's like to the extreme.
Right. And it's so crazy to even think about, bro. Like the players that I just mentioned. Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal were their first round picks. What was it, 5 and 7? And it was like boom, they won the draft. I mean, they just got 2 amazing prospects. I mean, and they're both looked at to potentially be moved. And I mean, Evan Neal will probably eventually be cut if he's not moved. But
he's got the worst technique in the league, bro. He's so bad. It's
just
just that, bro. I mean, that frame, 6'8", like 320, can move like a motherfucker, but
right.
No footwork, no hand skill, no nothing, bro. He's terrible.
Yeah,
bro. Like I remember the clips, bro. Like they just, bro. Like it's like in a pass pro, it's like he's trying to chop. Like he just comes out of his and just chops at the defensive end. Like there's just clips of him doing it. I'm just like, bro. Like he's not even trying like to, win the hand fight or nothing. He's just throwing his body at them.
On a second thought, I think we're going to revert the trade back to just a 5th round pick, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Jacoby and a 6th for a 5th round pick.
If you want that man on your team.
It was kind of just like, just a throw in because I know.
Have they tried putting him at guard yet?
Yeah, that's where he was.
That's where he's been playing.
Was playing. Yeah. Now he doesn't play at all, but that's where they moved him into guard to see if it would work. And I think
they put him at guard and put Powers Johnson at center. Throw some help his way.
Who knows? But I think Evan Neal, this is not saying much, by the way. Don't take this for granted or anything, but I think he slightly improved as a guard. But again, it's like going from a 0 out of 10 to like a 2 out of 10 type of thing. Like I think it was very marginal improvements, but yeah, who knows? Maybe he comes to the Raiders and he's the second coming of Zach Martin. But what do you got for your last trade?
My last trade is Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, I wanted to move him bad, but I ended up not doing it.
Who do you think?
Let's see. So it's not the Lions, which he had been linked to. I think it is either the Patriots or
it's the Patriots.
Okay, it makes the most sense because they have the most money. But what do you have him being traded for?
I was having trouble because it says like the Bengals asking is they want a first round and they also want a young player to go with that, and that's when they were saying like the Patriots kind of moved off of interest in the trade, unless maybe the asking price goes down, which it could, and that's why I was having trouble finding like that player to put in this. I really don't know who to put, but obviously first rounder, and this is probably gonna sound bad because I know he's been pretty bad. He's been pretty bad his whole career, but Keon White, I don't know.
Okay, I mean Keon White has been
and Keon White. He's not even really getting snaps this year though. He's been bad.
I thought
last year he had a couple sacks.
Yeah, I thought last year he played solid, but. Okay, I mean, and did you had them giving up a first in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Patriots give up a first.
This next year's first.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
Or
whatever
the most valuable first. Yeah, I guess next year or maybe the year after that. I mean, then again, if the year after that might even be better. So
right.
I guess next year probably have to give up more honestly because they're a good team. Maybe a first.
Yeah.
A fourth, and I don't know. I was looking at Caleb on Chase on. I know he's having a good year, but I don't know. he's kind of been around the league. He's just kind of
Caleb Vaughn's, because I remember when he played for the Raiders last year. Caleb Vaughn is solid if he's used as just like a rotational edge. You know, if he's like a starter or having to
he's
play
not
like
every down.
right. Even if he's playing like big time snaps for you, like I don't like that. Like I think he's like a 20-ish, 25 type of snap a game guy, and I think he could be
I mean that's like
solid.
what Keon's getting, 40% snap count.
So
or less than that, 40 snaps here, 20, 16. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he had a decent. I mean, he had 5 sacks last year. I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch much Patriots last year. I'll be honest. I don't know what he was on, but
I remember
out of the rotation now.
I can't remember if it was Keon White or if it was somebody else, but I remember they did have like somewhat of some success on that defensive line where you looked at it and it was like, okay, like we have something here. And I can't remember if it was Keon White or somebody else, but yeah, I don't mind that at all. I mean, the Patriots are on such a roll right now. I mean, it's and Drake May being on his rookie contract in his second year, like you have to take full advantage of this, and you kind of have to go all out. You know, you have to look at that third and fourth year of that contract, and like that's not like your only Super Bowl window, but that's kind of how you're managing it. Like you want to be real competitors in that third and fourth year. Third year is probably a little unrealistic because that's obviously next year. But that fourth year, I mean, if Drake May is playing the level he is, and trust me, our next episode is going over our midseason awards. Drake May will be talked about. We're going to have some candidates for each award, and he's going to be mentioned for a pretty big one, I would say. He's playing some of the best football of any quarterback in the league. So to add a player like that, Trey Hendrickson, one of the better pass rushers in this league, that would be, that would boost them up a lot. I mean,
I know I only asked the question a week ago, but you still have the same answer for Jaden Daniels over Drake May, or does that change after one more week of Drake May playing elite? Or
I think
how much longer does it take?
I think not solely because, and I don't want to take this away because what did he have, like a 91 completion percentage? It's the highest in Patriots history and like the 25th highest in a game in NFL history. But it was against the Titans, and the Titans are like the worst team in the league. So it's like I don't want to like, oh, he just did that against the Chiefs or something. But it's not to take away because that's amazing. I mean, putting that up
he's
against,
been doing that all season though too. So
no, yeah, 100%. He's been playing some great football. I think it changes for me if he continues this and then plays stellar I can't even say stellar, but just he plays well in the playoffs. I'm not expecting them necessarily to win a playoff game. And I guess it depends on all the matchup that they have. But if he, goes out there and balls out in the playoffs, which is like a big step forward, you can have these quarterbacks that play amazing in the regular season, but that playoffs is a different type of game. I mean, Lamar Jackson is my favorite quarterback ever, and it's tough for him. Look, quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, who has had some pretty unfortunate games. I mean, that playoff monster is a real thing. And the way Jaden Daniels handled it last year as a rookie, and I mean, he's just faced some injuries this year, and that's really all it is. I think if he was healthy, as I mentioned a week ago, I think we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I think Jaden Daniels still is that dude, but Drake May certainly is in that conversation. So if he continues this and does what he does in the playoffs, I can see myself switching. But as of right now, I'm still sticking JD 5. Give me him. So that's kind of all the topics that we kind of had noted that we wanted to go over in this episode. And I guess we'll just get to some rambling because the NFL, or not the NFL, the NBA starts tomorrow. And I know we're pretty hyped about that. The Lakers are playing the Warriors and the Rockets are playing the Thunder. And just rapid fire off the top of your mind, are the Thunder going back to back, or do you think someone else, a different team, wins it? Yeah, I think so too. I think they're just stacked, bro. They're just from top to bottom. I mean, as long as Chet stays healthy, I think this team has legitimate chance to win 70. I mean, they won 68 last year, if I'm not mistaken, without Chet for a majority of the season. And they even dealt with, like, I think Hartenstein missed a good amount as well. Like they were missing a lot of players, and it just didn't matter because they have a top 3 player in the world along with J-Dub, who is like one of the most underrated players in the world. Like, he is so good defensively. So good. So we'll see where they go with that. But I think the Thunder run that back. I do like the Nuggets this year. I want to like the Rockets so much, but it's so tough to see a team winning it in that first year. Obviously, they're going to be great. The Fred VanVleet injury hurts a lot, but they're still going to be great. But I just don't see, championship winner in the first year of acquiring a new star. It's just rare. Yeah, I mean, the Lakers are like the only team that kind of did that as of recent memory, where you acquire this big superstar and immediately win the championship. It's just tough. League is so talented nowadays. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch some basketball again. We're going to have basketball and football on essentially every single day going forward for like the next, until February. So the next like 4.5 months essentially. Yeah, I'm stoked, bro. I'm stoked. We did a little fantasy football draft, but it's just like it's with like 6 of our friends, and it's kind of like no money pot, just for kind of fun. I ended up with the number 1 pick and got Jokic, so I guess I'll tune into more Denver Nugget games. Here he goes, man. But I think
I had the number 2 pick.
Yeah, and you went Giannis or Wemby? You went Giannis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably would have went Giannis too, but I know bullshit, man. I was considering Wemby at 1, bro. Like, defense is just so valuable in fantasy football. I think it's 4 points for a block, and the fact that Wemby is just undoubtedly gonna be the block champ for his entire career, like, that's just so valuable. But Jokic is an easy 101. I mean, he's just super healthy every year, a consistent triple-double guy. I love that pick all day of the week. So,
whose side are you on? NBA Twitter or NFL Twitter?
Okay, I like
stuff that's been going on.
I like this conversation. So, are you saying this just as a whole, like NBA, NFL, Twitter,
just which memes? Is more enjoyable? Everything.
I think from a comedy aspect, it doesn't get much more funny than NBA Twitter. I mean, the trolls out there are. I think NBA Twitter.
I think it's the opposite. I think NFL Twitter is funnier, bro.
Because I think it's like the troll tweets that go with it. Like, it's not like NFL Twitter. You have like the memes that get created, but NBA Twitter. Like, obviously, this is very vague, and I'm just thinking it, but they'll just tweet like a line or a sentence, and it's just like fucking hilarious, bro. Like,
but I think NFL obviously is 2 different leagues, but I kind of associate like NFL and college football Twitter as the same. I wouldn't really say college basketball and college. I mean, is there even a college basketball Twitter? I don't know. I feel like I don't see much about
honestly,
that.
I feel like college basketball.
But the people who like do college football, they still chime in on NFL and like they'll give their stuff. It's just way more closely connected than like college basketball, and I think people, I don't know, just the stuff that comes from there is also very funny.
I feel it. I think NFL. It's so tough because Twitter is such a terrible place. But I think they're both bad and good in their own ways. I think the one part that I really like NFL Twitter over NBA Twitter is the fact that like you'll see more praise for players. Like you're not seeing a Cade Cunningham graphic praise over on NBA Twitter that often. But on NFL Twitter, I mean, you'll get, a Baker Mayfield passing chart with like 10,000 likes, and it's like that's the stuff that I like seeing. You know what I mean? You'll see these advanced stats pop up on the timeline all the time, but I mean, there's pros and cons to both sides, but I think overall, give me NFL Twitter. I'm also just a bigger NFL fan. Obviously, I have a NFL podcast, but I like both a ton. I mean, I'm gonna watch a ton of NBA.
I still don't
games
even
this
know
year.
what happened with the Hood Genius and Homeland. I know
Yeah,
Homeland Security tweeted
that
at
shit
him.
is crazy,
I can't
bro.
find like what the tweet was that
Yeah,
that Hood Genius said. Like I don't know. I've been trying to find it the last 10 minutes. I couldn't find it either too when I was at work.
right.
But that whole fiasco is hilarious.
Yeah, bro. Like, see, like these are like the memes that I be talking about. It's like my government beefing with Hood Genius. We actually live in the dumbest country ever, and it's that fucking 7-minute video or 36-minute video of
Yeah.
that dude talking, bro. Like that just has me dying, bro. Like those are the memes that I be talking about. Like NBA Twitter is just unserious as fuck, but they're also like super brain rotted, bro.
But
Like,
also
I
NBA
hate that
Twitter,
shit.
I'll give them. They have the best like reaction
Yeah,
videos,
exactly.
like with players.
Right.
I mean, NFL players, you don't really get too much of that because you can't even really see their face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. It's hard to use them as a reaction a lot.
Right. And this
It's
is
like
oh my God.
it's more so like the coaches. I feel like get used a lot more.
This
than
is
the
a
players,
super
'cause you
this,
can actually see the coaches' emotions.
this is a super weird tangent because I was talking to this with some of my friends last week, and I had brought up this point. I think I've heard people talk about this before, and you mentioned that when it's like obviously you're able to see their faces more when it comes to NBA versus NFL. Do you think, as far when it comes to like impact and influence, do you think that we can have an NFL player be on the same type of influence as like a LeBron, a Steph, a Kobe, a Jordan, players like that? Like, I feel like it's hard. Like, even like Tom Brady being the greatest football player ever, I just don't think he had the same influence of like any of the NBA guys that I just mentioned. Like I guess it's because the NBA is more world round. Like there's more people playing basketball around the world than there is football. But I just feel like if you were to like go down the list, all right, you're gonna combine NBA and NFL, and we're gonna list influence, and you're just gonna go down the list. You know, you can start at one, whoever you want, LeBron, Steph, Allen Iverson, whoever you think is the most influential ever, and then just keep going down. Like, bro, you're gonna go down a lot of NBA players before you get to your first NFL player. Like, I don't even know. Like Odell, honestly, is probably
There's
pretty
just,
high
I
on
think it
that
just
for
comes
NFL.
down to there's less players in the NBA or on teams.
Yeah,
Like it's easier for the media to just focus on one player from that
Right.
team or two. You know what I mean? With the NFL, it's a 55-man roster,
yeah,
and obviously not every player is getting media coverage. But I mean, there's 11 players on offense, 11 players on defense,
right.
22 starters. Like, and you could have a lot of good starters, like the Eagles. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley, and defensive side, Jalen Carter, Cooper, a lot of good players, and it's like
right.
it's hard for them to just give all this media attention to one player from that team, and it goes like that for every team.
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to the media coverage, and it's easier to just cover a sport with less players, I guess. I think.
And I would also say it's probably, I mean, I guess I could see like a receiver, but it's probably really like only a quarterback that could really reach that level of influence, because like that's a great point, because it's like you'll never see a corner or a defensive player or an offensive lineman ever reach that high of influence.
But they got to be outgoing out there like
right,
that.
and they would also have to back.
And
it
even
up
our
with their
best
play.
quarterbacks aren't really like that. Like Mahomes, not really. Lamar, not really.
Yeah,
Josh Allen, not really. Joe Burrow kind of had his, time now, when he was a rookie and, college, the Joe Cool, you know what I mean?
right,
Joe Shiesty
right.
pulling up to the game with the big chain and stuff. But now you don't really see that much of him, that side of him, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it really does. I think the biggest factor of it is how hidden
Jaden
NFL
Daniels,
players
that's a
are.
young, star. You don't see too much of him in the media like that, really.
Yeah, yeah,
You see
yeah. I
more
don't.
about him and like the speculation around his
Right.
relationship with like,
Yeah,
other
Juju
celebrities.
Watkins. Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's
There's
that's
that
a
clip
fair
that
point.
clip of him when he's talking to Paige Beckers and he like pulled out his phone for like 0.2 seconds.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that
I,
was
I think I
funny.
literally just saw that when I was just on Twitter a second ago trying to find something. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's a. I was talking about that last week. Like I said, that's an interesting conversation. I think it's tough. I don't think, man, and as I mentioned, as good as Brady was, I mean, he's not even close to the influence that like a lot of NBA players had on, the sports world. Like I just don't know if we'll see an NFL player anytime soon. Like I think Odell had that level. I wish he would have been able to stay healthy for his entire career. Because I mean, if you talk about Odell being a Hall of Fame type of player and been able to stay healthy for another 10 years or so, I think he could be not on the level of them, but I think he would be one of the most influential NFL players we've ever seen. But you know, injuries got to him, man. Unfortunate. One of the most skilled and talented wide receivers I've ever personally watched. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for us, man. A great episode. Didn't go over any fantasy football or pick'ems. I'm obviously still gonna keep track of our pick'ems, and we're still doing fantasy football, but just didn't necessarily feel like it was the right thing to talk about, and we didn't have nothing crazy going on in fantasy football. And once that time comes, I'll update you guys on the predictions that me and Jaden have for our pick'ems. He's still in the lead by a comfortable amount, so we'll see if I'm able to catch him to him. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Make sure to rate us 5 stars. That's going to do it for us. We're out. Peace.